in terms of presentation, the presentation aspect. It's precisely the tension between their chimerical composition and their unified gestalt that distinguishes the talkative thing from the speechless sort. Talkative things instantiate novel, previously unthinkable combinations. Their thingness lends vivacity and reality to new constellations of experience that break the old molds. As in the case of constellations of stars, the trick is to connect the dots into a plausible whole, a thing. Once circumscribed and concretized, the new thing becomes a magnet for intense interest, a paradox incarnate. It is richly evocative, it is eloquent. Like seeds around which an elaborate crystal can suddenly congeal, things in a supersaturated cultural solution can crystallize ways of thinking, feeling, and acting. These thickenings of significance are one way that things can be made to talk. So my feeling in the presentation was, in terms of successes, that this object was familiar enough to many different disciplines that they felt they had some sort of authority to speak about it, but it was dissimilar enough from their discipline that it was provocative and kind of made them uncomfortable. So I feel like kind of using the mirror itself as the seed around which an elaborate crystal can grow, by like placing it in the middle of this round table, people like, were perturbed enough, comfortable yet perturbed enough that kind of, as we talked about last night, like these kind of cognitive filters became exposed because the demands they were putting of the object. For example, the scientists were really annoyed that I had the mirror under a vitrine and that it was made for my eyes only, and they could not let go of this fact. And then one of the artists said, I don't look at it as a functional object. I don't care about the function. It's like the form is captivating for me. And the scientists were shocked. How can you look at this thing as just a form? So it was really, I thought it was quite successful in kind of bringing these things to the surface, kind of the way this week has been for me as well. And then in post-production, I kind of started looking at the ideas of bachelor machines. And bachelor machines are unfinished, unfinishable, and incapable of operating in reality. Instead, they are mental machines, the imaginary working of which suffices to produce a real movement of the mind. And I think like part of my intention was to use existing techniques and